For help quitting, call 866-QUIT-YES or visit quityes.org.
This hour of programming is brought to you in part by your membership contributions and by Arnie's Sandwiches, offering deli sandwiches, soups, and salads daily, including the Macho Man Marvel, Bosque del Bomber, and a selection of gluten-free options. Catering with lunch boxes, sandwich trays, and party subs also available. Arnie's Sandwiches, open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 2031 South Illinois Avenue for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. 529-4300.
Good Monday morning to you. The time now is 10:01 a.m. You're listening to WDBX FM Carbondale. The show is Talk the Town. I'm your host, Amy Fox, along with our other host, Mr. Gary Williams.
Good morning.
Good morning. We are glad it's Monday, ready to start the week off right. And, of course, we have a couple of special guests in studio this morning. We have Patricia Nardini and Kevin McDonald, both with Giant City Stables. Thanks so much to both of you for being here this morning.
And thank you for having us.
Yes. And you are gearing up for a very big fundraiser come the end of this week. Tell us a little bit about this event.
Absolutely. It's Sweethearts of the Saddle. It's our 7th year of doing this gala, the 6th year of doing it in conjunction with the running of the Kentucky Derby. So it's a lot of fun. It is a formal Derby attire. You get to wear the fancy hats. We have fine dining and live music for dancing along with all the other fun things. So we're really looking forward to it.
And how did you come up with this idea 7 years ago?
Well, 7 years ago, we actually became officially a not-for-profit organization. And we have these two wonderful doctors, Dr. Lutchka and Dr. Workman, who said they would host a party for us. So the very first one was on Valentine's, around Valentine's Day. And then they, I think, came up with the idea that, since we're horse-related and our mission is improving the quality of life through the healing power of horses, why not do the Kentucky Derby? Now, I have to admit, that's probably the worst weekend to try to plan an event because that's when everybody else has got events going with graduations and things like that. But it's been fun, and every year we question it. Every year it's like, well, let's stay with the Derby.
And tell us a little bit about some of the services that Giant City Stables provides the local community and beyond.
Well, Giant City Stables is kind of the home of specialized equine services. We're the not-for-profit portion of it, and what we do is we work with special needs people and using, like I said, the healing power of the horses to help with special needs such as that might come from autism or cerebral palsy or brain injury or veterans with suffering for post-traumatic stress. Results in recovery have been incredible.
And Kevin, being a veteran, what has this experience been like for you?
I could be here all day talking about that, but I can break it down to this. The relationship between the emotional, magnificent beast that we call the horse and that we spend so much time with out there at SES has helped me pay attention more to the changes in myself. I have a physical disability, so getting up on a horse alone strengthens, my trunk, strengthens my legs, strengthens my balance. So in that aspect, it's wonderful. For all of us veterans who are in the program, it kind of has a ripple effect beyond that, with our families, our children. We're better husbands, sons, daughters, et cetera. It just, as I said, I could go on, but it really is. It's a healing and quite rewarding experience.
And how long have you been involved in SES?
Well, I came to SES 4 years ago, roughly, and I was in one of the first groups that came through the program. While I was a student, I became a student at SIU. So there was a lot going on, and this program was really needed. And I learned groundwork, learned how to do everything off saddle, and then learned about the horses, and then in saddle. But it helped me with my studies. It helped me at home. It helped me deal with the stress of school and whatnot, especially at my age. But one of the exciting things that came out of it was just a few months ago, I was asked to be the new president of the veteran of SES. And so what we did was, since the Veterans Group's been there 4 years, not many people knew about it. They knew about specialized equine services, but they didn't know we had a veterans program outside of the VA.
And quite a successful program as well.
Very successful
Ramona's
program.
Brilliant in working that.
She is our founding mother,
director, and
yeah,
certified instructor.
Yeah, she is incredible. So what we did was we came up with VETS, Veteran Equine Therapy Services, and the exciting thing, we're going to unveil our logo and more of the direction we want to go with that veterans program to open it up to get younger veterans in there and to make it really an exciting program for our area.
So how did you guys, I know we've talked about this in the past, but we have you on every year. This is that show.
I love
wonderful service. But for folks that don't know, I mean, you've been a nonprofit for 7 years. You guys have obviously been doing this longer. Can you talk a little bit about, like, why did you guys start doing this? And
well, we did start in 1995.
Okay.
Carol Haddon was the one that brought it to. She came from St. Louis and then was working the Giant City Stables public riding facility. And then, because of the success and the need for using horses with special needs, she continued to do that. And when Ramona then came and took over, you could just see the need, and the results are just amazing. I can't tell you how many their first words are on the horse. You know, one was walk on, or I heard another story. This is the first thing the kid says, "Hi, mommy," and never said that before. You know, so we saw that there's a need, and with such great results. So it's been getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year.
And there's some evidence-based data behind this as well, right?
Right.
That this type of therapy can produce positive results.
Yes. I don't know where we can. There's a lot of testimonies, but
right. So what we see is that we were talking about the physicality a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
So the physicality issues are huge with children with disabilities and adults with disabilities. So if we can strengthen the body in another way and the mind, because we're rewiring the mind every time we do something new. So that effect alone is just one of the many facets that create this valuable relationship with them.
Well, we have a couple of riders where they weren't able to even sit up, and Ramona would hold them sitting, walking on the horse. And the mere fact of sitting on the horse, and because of the gait is very similar to the human gait, up and down, backward, sideways, they started to get muscle memory that they didn't have before. Now they can be walking in walkers, or actually sitting up and moving, independently much. Before riding a horse, and that cannot be duplicated in a clinical setting.
Sure,
it's amazing how the horses can really connect to.
It's amazing.
The people.
It's one thing with the horses succeed where traditional talk therapy and medication often fail, and they also connect in a way that words cannot express. But the hearts can, and I've seen it. I've personally experienced it too. When the heart connected, it is powerfully emotional. And in my research lately, I've been reading. They said that even the horses have emotional experience too. I didn't see it, but they weren't crying like I was.
No, but they do. There's no doubt when a child makes that connection with that horse, definitely. It's an emotional experience to watch, but it's definitely something. It's
no words are happening, but you could just feel that energy.
And then for you, Kevin, the vets part of it. I mean, obviously there's the physical component,
right?
For a lot of the guys that have been in the military for a number of years and have been in combat situations, all that stuff. But there's obviously can you speak about the mental emotional part, because that's a big challenge for a lot of folks too.
For many veterans who say have been in combat, we'll say, there's one direction in your mind, and to come home from that, and still you're carrying that direction. And that direction is to succeed in that mission, is to take out the enemy per se at all costs. This is what we do. So then you come home, and someone might say, you might be in Walmart, and you hear someone complaining, "Oh, I can't believe they don't sell pink shorts," and they're going off and they're having a fit, and you're like, in your head thinking, "My God, how does that matter? How does that matter to life? How does it matter?" So you might find yourself getting a little disgruntled with the world because you say they don't understand. They don't understand what we've been through. They don't understand what we've seen. And so you can tend to go into yourself and kind of push yourself away from the world. And this right here, being with a horse who's also an emotional being, and you see your behavior reflected in them. So if you have a horse that, say, has some, wants a light touch, and you're coming in that day and you're just feeling keyed up, and you go near that horse who wants a light touch, and you're a little heavier on that horse is going to let you know, hey, we need to talk about this. And we're talking about it just in the physicality, but in that behavior. So now you have to become more self-aware and sit back and reflect. Oh, wait a minute. I came on a little too strong. Let me lighten it up a little bit. And in doing so, you've now changed your behavior, which now has changed your relationship with that horse. So that, again, like you talked earlier about the ripple effect. Now, when I go home, or if I see that same person having an issue with the pink shorts, I might step back a little bit now and say, maybe they need pink shorts because that's what all the cheerleaders are wearing, and they have to have it. So now you might understand better. So that's really the healing power for the PTSD or any mental health issues that might come into play.
And how is the program set up? Are you going out there multiple times during a week, or
for the veterans?
Yes.
No, we meet Friday mornings from roughly 10 to noon, and we
all
have
year.
Yeah, all year. Yeah, it doesn't matter how cold, how wet, how hot. I do skip some of the really hot days, so I have to admit. But one of the things we're hoping for is to take this to in a new direction, so we can bring more veterans in. There's an excitement to riding a horse, and veterans are a very competitive type of personality, and we like to chase the adrenaline. So riding a horse does give you that, and it kind of helps in that respect.
And going back to the event coming up on Saturday, this is a fundraiser that goes back to support this program.
Right.
And I'm assuming there's a lot of costs associated with offering these types of services to people in Southern Illinois and beyond.
That's right. To give you perspective, it costs about $85 to provide 1 hour of therapy service. Our riders pay no more than $35, and some of them down to $11, depending on their subsidy level. So we have a big gap to make up.
And people can contribute and help out by attending this event on Saturday.
By attending or just sending their support. That works very well.
If somebody is the event full, or is it?
It's getting there.
It's getting there. It's almost at the breaking point. There's a little room left, and we could certainly do our best to accommodate anybody who is interested in our program. And they can find all the information on our website, which is
it's on Giant City Stables, and it's on Specialized Equine Services, and we do have Facebook. That information on there as well.
Okay.
And if someone is listening this morning and has never attended this event, can you give us kind of an inside look at what they can expect?
Right. 4:30 the doors open, and we will have a couple horses there. These are our therapy horses, and you have an opportunity to have your picture taken with that, and you'll be able to take that home as a favor. Our caterer is Great Boars of Fire. They've done a tremendous job. There'll be the live silent auction will be happening then, and then we're going to have dinner, and then we'll have dancing by We Got It Covered, Keenan Rice, where we have a live auction, and that's going to be Jason Forby, who is also pastor of the Cowboy Church, and an auctioneer. So it's fun. I mean, it's just a really fun, lively, energetic evening.
Yeah, very elegant, I think.
Right.
We're trying to create a very elegant, fun setting. So
we'll have a hot hat contest.
Yeah, you're going to be dressed to the nines in derby attire. You expect some elegance there, so that's definitely going to be the mood also.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And is there anything else either one of you would like to add? Maybe we forgot to ask you? I think we covered a lot of stuff.
I think you've covered just about everything, but really it's just a matter of us letting our community know and letting our area know that we're here, and we're here to help your families. We're here to help your children. And veterans are welcome. This is a safe area, a wonderful area to be with other veterans, like-minded individuals. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a fun group. So that really takes the edge off of any nervousness you might have being around horses, too.
Great.
Very cool.
Lots of good information. We really appreciate both of you joining us in studio this morning.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Great. And we're going to take a short break and get you some announcements in just a few minutes.
Good morning. This is Alicia with the City of Carbondale, here to bring you this week's calendar of events. Beginning Wednesday, May 1st, 2019, it's Carbondale's Bike Scavenger Hunt, celebrating National Bike Month. The scavenger hunt begins on Wednesday, and here's how it works. Bike to as many locations as you can during the month of May. Post your pictures on social media using the hashtag BikeCDale2019. You will win prizes, and the winner will be announced at the Bicycle Luncheon at Turley Park on May 31st. For more information, call 618-457-3257. Also, celebrating National Bike Month, Carbondale's Bike Scavenger Hunt will have a kids edition throughout the month of May. Kids 12 and under, ask your parents for help. Here's how it works. Bike to as many locations as you can during the month of May. Post your pictures on social media using the hashtag BikeCDale2019, and you'll win prizes. The winner will be announced at the Bicycle Luncheon at Turley Park on May 31st. A list of the locations is located on our Facebook page, or you can go to our website at explorercarbondale.com. And on Thursday, May 2nd, 2019, it's Meet the Mayor. Chat with Carbondale Mayor John Mike Henry and Carbondale City Manager Gary Williams at Fazoli's, beginning at 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. For more information, you can call 618-559-1939. And on Saturday, May 4th, 2019, it's Farmer Jason Live. Farmer Jason returns to the Carbondale Public Library on Saturday beginning at 2 p.m. for a free high-energy program for kids. Farmer Jason is an Emmy Award-winning musician from Nashville, Tennessee, who educates and entertains children about farm life and nature. His spontaneous high-energy programs include sing-alongs, dancing, and discussions about nature, ecology, and farm life, playing to the 2 to 8-year-old set. Adult fans of his alter ego, Jason Regenberg, will enjoy his lighter side. For more information, you can go to his website at www.farmerjason.com, or you can call the Carbondale Public Library at 618-457-0354. For information on these events and others, please visit our website at WDBX.org or CarbondaleTourism.org, or you can reach us by phone at 618-457-3228. Thank you and have a great week.
Good Monday morning. The time now is 10:18 a.m. We hope you're having a wonderful start to your work week. We have another special guest in studio this morning. We have Brian Callahan with Castle Perilous Games and Books, and you're gearing up for free comic book day coming up this weekend. Tell us a little bit about what you have in store.
Thank you for having me on. So Free Comic Book Day started back in like 2001, 2002, officially adopted in 2002, and it's an industry-sponsored event where the publishers will release special Free Comic Book Day branded books, often reprints. Sometimes there's new unique stuff. Sometimes there's debuts. Say Netflix's Umbrella Academy actually debuted in the Free Comic Book Day book in a short story before the series was officially published. So there can be some excitement even for collectors.
And this is something that always happens the first Saturday in May. Mm-hmm. And really, what is the purpose of this day?
It's to get people into the local comic book stores. You see, actually, just this weekend, the new big budget comic book movie hit. Mm-hmm. I will not mention its name, but I haven't seen it yet. But anyhow, those movies were making billions of dollars. Marvel's got like $3 billion movie franchises in there, but the comic books that inspire them, sales go down every year. Mm-hmm. And part of that is, people, I guess, prefer the bigger medium, but also online publishing, digital publishing has also hurt us.
And what types of activities will you folks have going on at Castle Perilous come Saturday?
We're going to have the Southern Illinois Humane Society. They're going to come, and they usually bring an animal, and it's to bring awareness, and they also accept donations at the event. We'll have the Southern Illinois Roller Girls, great group there, and we also are a sponsor of theirs. And they'll be helping give away comics. And we'll also have some artists, I believe, as well.
Great. So lots of good things going on. And is this going on all day or just certain hours?
It's going to be the majority of the day while supplies last. The feature most of the time is going to be in the middle of the day, between like 11 and 4.
Okay.
But we have a bunch of different promotionals. Basically, when people come in, you can get 2 free comic books just for coming in. Thank you for supporting us. We have incentives. Basically, every $10 that you spend, we'll give you another couple. If you come in and donate to the Humane Society, we'll give you a couple of more. If you patronize the artists, we usually give you something for that. So we want people to come in. We want to get their hands on comics and get excited about comic books. And
great. And I know I feel like we live in a society where everyone's glued to their phones, but this is really encouraging to pick up a comic book and read it from cover to cover. Absolutely.
And comics are extremely varied. Everyone thinks they're just superheroes. They're just for kids, but there's for decades have been many great comic books for people of all ages and all types. Great slice of life comics that are just comedic looks at people's lives, or bio comics like the Persepolis books by Maureen Strapati about her life growing up in revolutionary Iran. So there's topical ones, political ones, funny ones, raunchy ones, a little bit of everything.
So let me ask you this: with you mentioned some of the movies, and there's obviously highly popular, big budget movies that a lot of people have seen. Have those helped with a resurgence of comics, or do you think it's vice versa? Has there been a resurgence that's kind of facilitated these movies?
As I mentioned earlier, comic book sales are shockingly low. They're lower now than they have been at almost any point in the medium's history. And it doesn't seem like it's driving people to the stores. It's raised awareness of it, and the people who were marginal collectors have been embracing it more thoroughly. We see with stuff like Deadpool, extremely popular mainstream now. And so we sell more Deadpool merchandise than normal. But, if someone wants to see more Incredible Hulk comics, there's wonderful Incredible Hulk comics, but it's just not as popular as something like Deadpool.
Do you find that the comic book lovers are older adults, or do you find that they're kind of bringing up the younger generation?
We see a little bit of everything. The younger kids, they consume media differently. So I always try to encourage, mostly through teachers and stuff, I've had a lot of success encouraging, kids to buy books is to support their reading abilities too. It's just something that people overlook it's a visual and a narrative medium. So,
and I guess what's it like when you see someone come in your shop and maybe this is the first time they've ever picked up a comic book? I mean, is there that aha moment? Or
Yeah, you can see that because they may want to see, where did this story come from? We have a display right now of the all the Infinity comics from Marvel's last 25, 30 years of publishing history that have all been kind of borrowed for the cinematic universe. And so it definitely drives people to those books. When I see someone coming in for the first time, I'm just, someone new in the hobby, and I try to introduce them, find out what their likes are, and move on from there.
And I know it seems kind of overwhelming if you've ever been in a comic book store. I mean, there's just so many different collections and so many different genres to kind of choose from.
It is. And, in the last 10 or 15 years, we saw an influx of Asian media, mostly Japanese comic books and animation. And that's a whole different aspect of the hobby. We've also seen the rise of cosplay, which is costume play, which is borrowed from the Japanese, but it's basically dressing up as your favorites, comic book characters or video game characters and stuff. It's a good time to be a nerd.
What are the most popular ones right now?
Oh, well, of course, the mainstream hero titles.
Sure.
Batman's huge. Detective Comics just celebrated their 1,000th issue of continuous publication. That started back in 1937, I think. And X-Men are having a big moment right now. There's been a rise in independent books, too. Basically, not Marvel or DC, but there's companies like Image and Dark Horse that publish basically creator-owned stuff. So the creator, a guy who writes X-Men stories doesn't have really too many rights to that, except for maybe characters he creates on that. And that goes into a dark history of comic books and ownership. But a creator-owned series, they have a lot more narrative flexibility. They're not they don't have to be the X-Men. They can create their own thing.
And I think it's really cool, too. Comic books have been around a very long time. My dad's getting ready to turn 60 this year, and he had a huge box of comic books in our attic from his childhood, and it's something that kind of is passed on from generation to generation, so even parents out there can connect with their kids in the 2000s.
Yes. Excellent. Yeah, whenever someone just grew up with comics and their kids are now watching those characters on TV, things that when I was a kid in the 80s, no one ever would have dreamed there'd been X-Men movies and Avengers movies, and even with stranger stuff like Judge Dredd, or the Japanese adaptations like Battle Angel that happened this year. So it's awesome.
And once again, this Saturday is a free comic book, part of a national movement, but here in Carbondale, Castle Perilous is participating. And if folks don't know where you guys are located, tell us that, and then also the best place to park.
Parking is definitely a big issue. Yes, we're located at 207 West Main Street, right smack dab in the center of town. And parking's available. We have a limited number of spots, so they will be filled that weekend. We'd recommend parking by the railroad tracks and by the Civic Center. It's only half a block away, and hopefully it'll be a nice day.
And hours of operation for Free Comic Book Day?
10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Typically between 11 and 4 for most of the events to catch the guests, the artists, and the other groups.
And if anyone has questions, who can they get in contact with?
They can call us at the store at 618-529-5317. And they can also message us on Facebook or check us out at our website and through email.
Great. Brian, anything else you'd like to mention? Maybe we forgot to ask you?
No, comic books are a huge and diverse format. There's stuff for everybody. I started with my dad's Savage Sword of Conan books, certainly not for kids, but people can get into the hobby any one of 100 different ways, and I guarantee we'll be able to find a book for you.
Great. Lots of good information. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And just want to remind everyone listening this morning of the WDBX Spring Pledge Drive going on now through May the 4th, so you still have a few more days to make a donation. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we will be back next Monday. Have a great day.
I'm Brian. At 58, doctors told me I had the heart of a 37-year-old man. They told me that after my heart transplant surgery. If you're a smoker, here are some tips in case that happens to you. First, you have to quit smoking before you can get on a list for a transplant. So quit now. And never feel sorry for yourself. I don't. I only feel sorry for that 37-year-old man.
Developed by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. For help quitting, call 866-QUIT-YES or visit quityes.org.
Support for WDBX comes from Cristado's Cafe, Bakery, and Catering, serving breakfast and lunch all day. Cristado's offers fresh baked goods, including cookies, cakes, and pastries, as well as specialty coffee drinks. Catering available for any event. Cristado's Cafe, Bakery, and Catering, open Tuesday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturday 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at 209 South Illinois Avenue in the Kaleidoscope Building. Information by phone at 529